Well, hey guys, welcome back to the shop. This video, we are going to go through the whole process of what it takes or how I build a blade for one of these factories. I'm going to take a raw plate and I got to grind the plate out. I got to put tips in it and then start grinding. And then let y'all see exactly what it takes to build a blade. Now, I mean, this ain't what you do. This ain't what happens in a factory. This is just what happens in a custom shop. Because these blades I'm doing they're cutting plastic. Now, they can get the stuff from the manufacturer, the blades. But the problem is, the blades that the manufacturer sells for the machines doesn't work properly. They're making vinyl windows is what they're doing. So all the cuts, when they buy them from the manufacturer, they blow out a little bit. They fray. So it takes extra steps to get that done. And I've made quite a few blades for these people, and they love them. And basically, what it is, they're selling them as you ain't gonna understand until you see the video. They're selling them a zero hook blade. All right, well, zero hook is great for aluminum, non-ferrous metal, ferrous metal. Depending on if you got C6 tips, that's another video. So I do them at a -5. I have done a few of them for them for a -10 because the material's so thick. But that negative on there helps throw the chips out of the way, so the blade can keep cutting. But a zero hook will trap the cutting material, right? After it cuts, it'll trap it in the gullet and cause fraying, chipping, that kind of thing. So that's why I build these blades. Anyway, here we go. There's going to be two parts of this video. I try to do this in one shot, man, and that ain't happening. There's just too much editing, too much time. This video would be an hour and a half long. Nobody wants to watch an hour and a half long video. So I'm going to do it in two steps. We're going to go through the grinding it in, putting the tips in it, getting everything done, explaining all that stuff, and then going to the grinding process. Because the grinding process is just off one machine onto another one, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, hang on. Hope you enjoy the video. I've worked on it pretty hard. Let's just see how it turns out. Here we go. All right, so step one, we take our saw plate. I just ordered the saw plate, how many teeth I want, basically what angle hook I want on it. This is a -5. But before you can put tips in these things, you can see, I think right here, right? You see these ones that's black? That's from the laser cutting. And then you have to go in here with the grinder and actually grind that black out to give it a good clean place for that silver solder to solder to. And what I'm using is a 120 grit CBN wheel. I think it's like a 1/8 width. That light might be messing with it. But it's a super abrasive wheel made just CBN cut steel. So hang on, I'll set you up, and I got all of them done except for these three. And we'll show you how to set that up. There's a stop finger here, and we're touching off, not on the seat where we're grinding, we're touching off down in right on that, right on that little lip where the gullet starts. It's hard to see over this phone. Right there. You definitely don't want to set a stop finger up here because every time you grind, as you go around, man, you're taking off more each time. So you always want to have it set up somewhere where it's a constant stop, right? Nothing changes. All right, so let's set this camera up, and you can see them three right there. That's the ones I'm going to do real quick, and show you how we go about doing this process. All right, I can't zoom you in any farther than where I got you. For some reason, it's not cooperating. But and I'm not going to turn the dust collector on. You won't be able to hear me. So all we're going to do is fire it up. I think I got, what was it, 3? Yeah. So let's get these done. It's about that simple, man. Now it's time to take it over to put teeth in it and get on with the grinding. All right, you might be wondering how I know I'm grinding that thing at a -5, right? Let me show you real quick. All right, so this is a old Felly bell saw, number 357 manual saw blade grinder. And back here on the back, well, you can see where it says hook scale center slot, okay? So I'm not gonna, well, it's just too much of a pain to move it. So basically there's a 0 right here. So anything on that side of that 0 is a positive hook angle. Anything on this side of 0 is a negative hook angle. See how this has got negatives by the numbers? So a 5-degree negative hook is 1/2 inch off center of the saw, right? So this is negative. You want to go that way, then we're going, like if we want a 10-degree hook, we'll go to 1, which is 1 inch off center of the saw, which will give that saw blade seat a 10-degree hook angle. I hope that kind of explains it. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. But there you go. That's how I know I'm grinding on a -5. You just set it up, put it on whatever number you want, line that blade up, set your stop finger up so that the tooth sits exactly where you're going to be grinding, right? Everything just lines up with the wheel, and you just start grinding, man. Just be careful. You don't want to turn it black. That's a no-no. And then the whole piece of the saw will come out there if it hits something hard. All right, let's get over here. Put some. This is going to be like, you're going to see me in different shirts because this is just, we're just doing this as I get time. All right, next step, teeth in. Not going to take you long doing all of them, man. I'll get most of them in and come, do 3 or 4 for you. Then we'll take it and put it on the face grinder. Let that thing grind. Then we'll take it from there over to that big saw grinder in the middle there. That's a side grinder that grinds the side of the teeth. And then we'll bring it and put it in this little 150 automatic right here, grind the tops in to the angles I want. So that's it. Let's go. All right, guys. Part 2 of the let's build some blades. Fixing to set this thing up. I'm gonna give you a blow by blow of how all this works. I'm only gonna do this once, so pay attention. Right? Silent Bob, man. All right, let's see what we can get done here. So we got our tips out here. These are 200 thousandths thick. You got to measure the plate. Divide, do a little math here. Subtract the plate thickness from the tip thickness, and then divide by 2, and that's supposed to give us what we need on each side of this blade. So hang on, let's give this a shot. All right, so I don't get real in depth with this because I always leave, 4 or 5 thousandths meat on the table. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure this plate. So there's 150. Let's see what we end up with. 150 thousandths from 200 leaves what, 50 thousandths. So I need 25 thousandths on each side of this blade with this tip. We're gonna take that, set it in there. Take our trusty side dial indicator. Let's see if we can't get this thing down to 25 thousandths. I'm probably gonna get in the way.
Always in the way.
That's my job, man.
Hey y'all, welcome to In the Way Shop.
Yeah, can you see that? Oh.
Yep.
So at this point, we know this tip is sitting directly in the middle of that blade. Now, we got to start putting flux all around this thing. I got 80 teeth sitting here, 160 teeth at one time wear you out. So we're going to do 80, then 80, and the last few will bring you back, but we'll show you here in a minute how to get this. Well, heck, let's just go ahead and do it. We're just going to take some of this black flux, and all we're going to do is paint this thing. Right? Just paint the crap out of it. We're going to do this all the way around. Alright, so there we go. We got our blade properly fluxed. All the seats, the whole 9 yards. Now, we're going to take a little bit of this stuff and put it on the back of each one of these darn tips. I'm telling you, man, this is a long, drawn-out ordeal. So, we'll be back when we melt some in. Okay, real quick, one more. I buy all my tips with the silver solder already on them. They call it pre-tinned because when you get a tip that don't have silver on it, then you have to tin it. Just, heat them up and melt silver on them. And you're using flux to melt the solder on the back of the tips. All that's already been done. But over the years, man, I have learned a little extra precaution never hurts anything. That little bit of flux helps a bunch. Okay, now, flux, why we use flux. Flux, some of y'all might know, some of you might not know, promotes the solder to flow, right? The solder that I have to use on these saw blades is 50% silver, 50% nickel, something. I don't know all the specifics. I just know I have to have 50% silver to do a quality job. Where was I at? Oh, flux. Flux, like I said, promotes the stuff to flow. The second thing that flux does, if you coat that blade down, good inch and a half below where you're soldering, that protects that blade from getting burnt. You do not, under any circumstance, want to heat that blade up to the point that where you're soldering it turns solid black. That's a no-no. First time that blade hits something hard, like if they're cutting something that might have a nail, chances are not only will the carbide come out of it, but it'll take off the whole tooth at the same time. So that's why flux is so important. I'm a big proponent of flux, reflux. Make sure, reflux. Yeah, not talking about stomach acid. But flux the crap out of it. That stuff ain't that expensive. Use it. It make the job go a whole lot better, a whole lot smoother. All right, let's melt some tips. All right, so we got them all in there. They're all pretty good shape. You can see, man, we got a good flow on everything. I used to have a sandblaster that cover these blades up down to about right in here. You can sandblast all this stuff out, you know, make it look nice. But hey, you know, what was and what will be is two different things. But there you go. I got a ton more to do. All right, so there you go. That's got us up to getting ready to start grinding. I mean, finishing the saw blade and getting it ready to send to the customer. We got another one, you know, coming. That one shouldn't be 10 or 12 minute video, besides me talking. But I just like to say, man, and you know, if it's something interests you or something like that, man, just keep hanging out around, you know, my little JB's little shop channel. I'll keep doing this. I do have some car stuff I'm fixing to get back to and stuff like that, but we're going to at least finish this little series here up, and hopefully I've learned a lot about editing stuff. I really need to get better at it, but you know, that's each his own. I'll just give you the raw stuff and hope you enjoy it. But anyway, with that, I hope you enjoyed this little video. The next one will be more me not talking a lot, but you know, running through the machines, getting the blade done, and show you the finished product. With that being said, man, I hope things are going good in your world. Things are going good in your life. Family, home and safe. Make sure that's happening. Watch out for everybody around you too, man. It's, you know, this day and time, you got some elderly people next door like I do. I go over and check on them about every 2 or 3 days, you know. Just, you know, if I don't see movement, I go knock on the door. Anyway, with that being said, man, I'll get off here. The other one will be out probably by the end of the week, depending on what next catastrophe hits my life. But we'll see you on the next one. Y'all take care. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment, man. You know, I don't want to do that. You know, this stuff is crap, whatever, or just ask a question. I don't care. I enjoy all that stuff. Just the interaction. But anyway, I'll get off here, leave y'all alone. We'll see you on the next one. Everybody take care.